Speaking of NVIDIA, we have a bunch of industry news to talk about, and the first one is, and we'll cover. There's a whole bunch of these that we'll kind of talk about, but one that's connected to NVIDIA is in the grand scheme of things, a much smaller organization compared to NVIDIA. Zoho, who we're both fans of, and we've talked about here in the past, has announced a partnership with NVIDIA just a few days ago. And I found it surprising from a Zoho perspective, mostly because their ethos is sort of we march to the beat of our own drum. We tend to not follow the pack, all of that sort of stuff. And NVIDIA is, of course, the 800-pound gorilla. So had they done or doing some kind of a deal on chips, I sort of would have expected them to go with one of the more disruptive players that was, sort of taking the same disruptive sort of tone that Zoho does. But other than that, I think it's good for Zoho, who has largely sat out a lot of this. I mean, they've been working on their LLMs and smaller language models and what have you, but we don't talk about them a lot with all of our AI stuff because they've been kind of sitting on the sidelines a little bit. And again, as always, marching to the beat of their own drum. But what was your take on this announcement?
Yeah, so a few things happening there. That first, NVIDIA was doing their India event, which is part of what we were referencing in the prior section. So, of course, they wanted to talk about their India-centered partnerships, and Zoho is a natural there as an India-headquartered software company and a relatively large one by those standards. But also, I think it speaks to the fact that NVIDIA is increasing the breadth of its partnerships and not just looking at Amazon or Microsoft or other trillion-dollar companies. It is starting to look at the next level of software companies and saying, we also need to be able to integrate with this as well. And then third point is that Zoho has always been a very practical company. They have decided to partner with whoever their customers are working with, and they really don't have an axe to grind in that regard. They are always happy to make integrations and partnerships at a practical level. So I think this starts to speak to the fact that Zoho, as more of a mid-market company, is starting to run into customers saying, we are also trying to figure out our NVIDIA strategy, specifically looking at our AI along with the NVIDIA NeMo microservices and the AI training capabilities associated with NVIDIA GPUs. And we need you to be able to help us with that partnership at the end of the day. So Zoho, of course, they have their analytics capabilities that go across BI and predictive analytics and data science. They say this seems to be a natural way for us to partner with the outside world in this circumstance. And also, I think it speaks to the fact that pretty much if you are a data science company at this point, you need to have some sort of integration with these NeMo microservices to continue serving your customers.
Yeah, no, I think it makes a ton of sense for them. I think that they need to have a foot in this game. They need to have a story to tell, and I think they have. Well, I think they've been doing some good things. They were a little bit behind on this, and
Mm-hmm.
so they need to have a better story to their customers. I mean, let's remember they're not a small company, right? They're a billion-dollar company, so they're not small by any stretch. But I think that they play in a unique space, and their customers, I think particularly, Zoho is this interesting organization that has a whole bunch of SMB customers, but also has a very large footprint in what I call the small to medium sized enterprise. And I think these
Mm-hmm.
customers are coming under pressure to say, what is our AI strategy? And if we've partnered with a company like Zoho, then what is their strategy that we're adopting? And they needed a better story to tell. And so in that way, I think the partnership with NVIDIA makes a lot of sense and helps them tell a better story.
You're right.
Um,
Mhm.
so